Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring, where we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. Transitioning to a virtual platform, then back to an in-person model while trying to scale your business and grow it can be challenging to say the least. The core principle remains the same though. You must clearly define the solution you have, whether it be in-person or virtual, to solve your ideal client's problem. As a gym owner, you have the solution to help people take control of their health through nutrition and fitness coaching. Your job is to bridge the gap so they understand how you can help them. Are you looking for help with messaging, retention, and scaling? Join us for the Nutrition Coaching Virtual Workshop on July 10th to ensure you're doing it right. Registration went live today to anyone that joined the waitlist. For more information about this incredible event, head over to growyournutritionbusiness.com. One of the things that we'll be diving into during the workshop is scaling your business. And one of the ways to do that is through partnerships. Today's guest on the podcast is Heather Kiddo. She is a gym owner and part of the HSN Mentoring team. One of the hot topics on mentoring calls lately is how do I get new leads, especially when my gym doors are shut? Well, in this episode, we are going to be talking about it. One of the best ways for people to learn about your brand is through someone else or a brand that they trust. By asking your clients for referrals and building partnerships with like-minded businesses, you are able to expand your reach organically. In this episode, we discuss setting up partnerships in 3 easy steps. Towards the end, we discuss one of the best tactics to leverage partnerships to get new leads. There's a printable to go along with this episode and a partnership checklist. Head over to growyournutritionbusiness.com and go to the blog section to download that printable today so that you can take action with everything that we discuss in this episode. Listen for that tactic because it really works. Enjoy, guys. Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. Today, we have an HSN mentor and gym owner, of course, on as a guest to talk to us about partnerships. Heather, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Nicole. I'm very happy to be here.
We are following up this podcast after doing a webinar on partnerships, which was super popular. This is such a common topic, and you really help walk gym owners through setting up partnerships. Talk to me a little bit about your background as a gym owner and really how you've been able to translate that into helping other gyms feel more confident when approaching partnerships.
Yeah, so I really think that my experience as a gym owner really does lend to my mentoring, simply because I've been through almost everything anybody brings to me. We started with HSN in 2017, and I had always been looking for some way to run a nutrition program legally in my business, and I couldn't find it. Even before I came across HSN, I was looking for a dietitian to help me, and it was just kind of unheard of in the gym industry to do something like that. So they all thought I was kind of crazy. But since starting with HSN and developing the nutrition program, I found a need to further it a little bit more and involve different, community businesses so that I could further help my clients, especially when looking for healthy ways to eat, because that's really, what the nutrition program is about. So just involving the community and teaching them a little bit about what we do in the gym and for the nutrition program has helped a lot.
Awesome. I love, it's so much easier to be able to help people when you can relate and you've already walked through it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you being able to, set up these partnerships and then also have some experience with being told no at first and it taking a little bit more nurturing to build that partnership. Talk to me about some of the most common partnerships that you see with the nutrition programs and gyms and what you've done in your gym.
Sure. So the partnerships that I first sought out were related to food. So restaurant partnerships, coffee shop partnerships, and those were the most common for me because I saw those really directly being able to help our nutrition program participants. What I was hearing from them was that they were really struggling when trying to find something to eat when going out to restaurants. And so, we'll talk about this a little bit further on, but I listened to where they went in the most popular places my gym members went, and I approached those restaurants first. And I wasn't lying to them when I said, hey, my patrons love your establishment and they love this place. I want to make it easy for them to order so they feel comfortable going out. So our first experience was mostly with restaurants. But what I'm seeing now is furthering that into all different aspects of nutrition and wellness too, like chiropractors' offices, massage therapy. Like, how can we partner with these places to co-brand, co-market, and really represent each other well?
Absolutely. There's so many different opportunities. And you think, who is your ideal client and where do they go? Right. And essentially that opens up the door to a lot of different businesses. Talk to me about some of the objections you hear, some of the apprehensions from mentoring clients. So some gyms that you work with, what are the common things you're hearing that inhibits coaches and owners to start working with different companies?
Well, I think that, for so long in the gym industry, we just do fitness, right? So involving other businesses is not something that's really common. So when we present these topics, they're like, oh my gosh, like, where do I even start? And so I think, number one, how do I go about this? And number two, what if they say no? Like, nobody likes to be rejected. And so because it's such a new thing, I think that's what I'm hearing from most of my mentoring clients. But it's reassuring to them to know that we've got some action steps for them to take and a process for them to follow. And it just takes one time to hear yes. And then it's just game on, right? They're more comfortable.
Absolutely. You get the confidence, right, to go talk to other businesses. So you work with mentoring clients on this on a one-on-one basis during monthly calls. But really what we talked about during the webinar was a 3-step process. And the first step we talked about was figuring out your offerings, right? Like, what does that look like? And you need to have an idea going into a company. What does success look like for you? And it has to be a win-win scenario. Talk to me about kind of the offerings that you would have, whether you're approaching a restaurant versus a chiropractor. What does that look like?
Sure. So, when you're approaching a restaurant, we would talk a lot about how can we make it really simple for somebody to come in and order food. And, we're referring to our participants of our program, but really, if you think about it, it's going to help the general public too. So when we look at restaurants, we're like, can we get our logo on the menu next to some healthy nutrition program approved menus? That's the simplest way to do that. Another simple way is to do like table tents or something that doesn't make the restaurant have to go into a lot of work to help this program out, right? Because it's a stressful thing to run a restaurant. And I think, like you talked about on the podcast, the cooks and all this kind of stuff, they can't incorporate new menu items all the time. That's very hard to do. So making it simple is super easy for restaurants. And then, an offering that we would look at when we look at a chiropractor or massage therapy is possibly doing like a co-marketing or co-branding Facebook Live. Like, how can we help our gym members, with mobility or just simple things that they can do at home, and sharing this platform together so that we can get both our customers involved and their customers involved as well. And that's something that, a partnership with one of those establishments might look like.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about restaurants, I would start with a place that you frequent and and that's a one shop establishment, not a chain. So if it's a single restaurant, you're going to have less people to go through to talk to the decision maker versus going to like a Panera Bread where you have to go way up the chain to get your logo, which is likely not going to happen, right? So I know when we went to the games last year, and I'm super sad won't be in Madison this year, but when we went to the games last year, every restaurant had like CrossFit menus and there were logos of gyms on the menu. So, Madison is obviously a really easy place to do it, but you could do it within your city too. I would start with places that you frequent or that or even looking at who within your membership, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but who within your membership can introduce you to someone. As far as co-branding, this is a really cool opportunity for really any business that you could work with, right? Like Lululemon or a clothing store or, massage therapist place, absolutely all of those things. One of the things we like to do is have there be some type of registration so that you have a little bit more commitment for people. so that you can capture their email addresses and send them follow-up support or like a printable if you do like a nutrition talk or a mobility session. Having them register so that you can capture some leads would be a really, really great idea. Awesome. So we've got some different ideas of what an offering looks like. You need to make sure that it's a win-win for both people. So you're providing value for them. They're providing value for you. They're sharing the information with their audience just as much as you're sharing the information with your audience. It has to be a win-win scenario. So we figured out the offerings. What's the next step with setting up partnerships?
Right. So we figured out our offerings and we have a basic guideline now of what we're going to present people when we go to them. But now we've got to find the people, right? How do we do that? We can do that from places that we ourselves like to go, but an unselfish way would be to ask our quote unquote seed clients, right? And those are the clients that make us the happiest and spend the most money and time in our gym. And I have had so much success asking my seed clients not only about places that they like to frequent or places that they like to go, but also just asking them about my establishment in general and how they like it, what they like about it, what would they change if they were the owners. And so these conversations, I know we're talking about partnerships right now, but they can lend to so many greater things as well, aside from partnerships. So we like to go places our seed clients like to go so that we can make them really happy.
Absolutely. Just sitting down for coffee and taking the time as an owner to meet with your seed clients is really important. Doing this activity of figuring out who your seed clients are often, like at least twice a year, should be something that you do, right? Like your seed clients from last year are not the same seed clients probably that you have this year. Maybe they are, or maybe you have a few more that you've added to the list. But sitting down with those seed clients, I think is really great. This idea is not our idea. It comes from the Pumpkin Plan, which is a great book. I would highly recommend it. We'll put that book name in the show notes. But you definitely need to identify your seed clients. Where do they like to go? Do they own a restaurant, or do they know the owner of a restaurant that they can introduce you to? You cold calling people is not going to be as effective as an introduction. So having that introduction is super, super helpful.
I totally agree.
What would you say about any tips for people that have never sat with seed clients or never done that activity before? We had a workbook that went along with the partnership webinar, and we'll go ahead and we'll put that link to the workbook in the show notes as well so that you guys could use it as you're going through this and listening to this podcast. But any other tips for people as they start identifying seed clients?
Yeah. So, when you start and you identify these seed clients, I found it to be most effective if I've gotten out of the gym. So I basically asked them to go to a coffee shop with me and just kind of talk about business. And I say to them, I just want to have a conversation with you about the gym and some other things in life. And I was hoping you'd meet me for coffee. Never had anybody say no. So if they do, then I would question if they're really your seed client, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I keep the conversation light and airy. And the first thing I ask them is, so how's life? How are you doing? How are things going with your family? And then I get into really why I have them there. And I'm not shy with them. I basically tell them, you're a great client. You make me so happy, and I want more clients like you. Like, you have to be a little bit brave in that sense. You can beat around the bush for so long, but people are busy, right? So we get to the point. I straight up ask them, where do you like to go? Where do you frequent? Is there anybody in your family that I can help? And then I ask them, do you know anybody who has a business that I can help? And I'm just pretty straightforward with them. And I've always left with great success. And I feel like I'm helping them too. So I don't feel uncomfortable with the conversation.
I think, what you could really do is set this up so you have a seed client meeting like once a week or once every other week as an owner, so you're not having 6 coffees in one day, setting up some meetings. But you need to be intentional about this and schedule it into your routine to do at least quarterly so that you're meeting with those clients one-on-one. So love that. Love all those suggestions. That's amazing. So we've identified our seed clients. Now, what do we need to do next? We've set up those meetings, right?
Yeah, we need to talk to these people that we've identified with our seed clients. And I think, when you were talking about how gym owners get hung up, this is where they get hung up, right? It's oh my gosh, now I actually have to meet with a potential business and I have to present them with why I want to. And that's the scary part, right? And in your head, just think the worst thing that they can tell you is no, or they can ignore you, right? So neither one of those hurt really bad, especially when you go into it with a help first attitude. Like, I'm trying to help you just as much as I want you to help me. And if you're not interested, that's okay. I'm going to offer it to the next person. And so asking for those meetings can either be in person, which I've done. I've gone to the establishment. You want to make sure that you get to the top, right? If you're looking at a local business that's not a chain, typically talking to the manager or the owner is going to be the best way. A lot of times you're going to have workers there that are 16, 17 years old, and that might not get you to where you need to be. So reaching out to the person in charge, I think, is a great place to start, for sure.
Absolutely. So sitting down, having a meeting with them. I love to do these meetings in person so that you can talk to them and, show them some success stories, show them and talk to them about, how you can help them. You want a safe place for your clients to go to eat out and really stay on track and feel confident that they're making the right decisions. And, going out to eat when you're trying to lose weight is super intimidating for a lot of people. So if you can be that place, that safe house for them to go and still eat out or take out if they're not wanting to eat out, then, that could be a really, really great option. So, going in with that help first mentality and then, setting expectations. So we're running a 28-day challenge right now at our gym. And
Yeah.
one of the things we did was we partnered with local restaurants, local establishments, and we're giving away a gift card one a week, right? And for them to be a partner with us, they had to share our media, right? So we created the post, we controlled what the copy was, and they just share it. So I'm not asking them to do a ton of extra work. It's a co-branded post. They're sharing it and it's easy and it's done. But if we're going to be promoting them, I want them to be promoting us. And that's a really great place to start. If you're a little intimidated, like you're not committing to a long-term relationship. You want to give them some exposure. You're launching a challenge and you have this number of reach. You have this many people on your email list and followers. And this is how you're going to get their name out, being a safe place to go to eat out. And they don't have to have your logo on the menu right away. They could do it and run it as a special, right? Put a menu insert in. Keep it simple.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, totally. As gym owners, I think a lot of us are really used to that platform called Canva now. If we can come up with the graphics for them and send it to them and have them approve it, I think that makes it so much easier for them to share posts and things like that, because then they don't actually have to do any of the work.
And that's the biggest hurdle, right? People don't want to have to do more work. So you going in there saying like, hey, I'm going to do all of this. All I need you to do is share it. Then you're lessening the barrier there. They're like, okay, this is not going to be that hard. I can definitely do that. So keeping it simple with clients. And then the other thing I would recommend, and I've definitely made this mistake in the past, is leave the follow-up on you.
Yes.
Don't say, okay, let me know when you want to, get this started. Like, leave the follow-up on you. If they want to move forward, awesome. I'm going to make this, grab a couple graphics in Canva and send them over to you to approve via email. And I'll call you before I do that so that you know they're coming your way. So leave the follow-up on you and set a timeline for it. So don't let those things kind of fall through the cracks. I know we did a roundtable that was a group mentoring call after our partnership webinar. And one of the mentors was like, you know what? I was setting up this partnership prior to COVID. And then the past 8 weeks has been so crazy. I kind of let it go and rekindled that relationship right after the webinar, right? Melinda said that.
Oh yeah, it was a great story for sure. And, I always like to have the ball in my court, because then I feel like it isn't going to fall through the cracks, right? And then if I state that when I leave, I also don't feel like I'm harassing them, because I told them I was going to follow up, so they're expecting it.
Absolutely. This is a really cool opportunity to get creative. So doing sponsorships for a challenge, weekly challenge, gift cards, giving those away. I think that's a really great idea, especially for clothes. Doing a virtual nutrition challenge is an easy way to get your members engaged and then, bring in the local community. But also one thing that we've been doing a ton is nutrition talks.
Yeah.
Doing a nutrition talk as a lead capture strategy, and then having a local sponsor of that nutrition talk where you're sharing it. People have to register and then you share the email list, right?
I think that's a great idea. And there's so many different things that you can get into here. Like meal prep could be one of them. Making a healthy salad could be another. There's just the sky's the limit, I feel like. And together you could really hit a lot of people.
Absolutely. I know May 1st, we actually released 6 nutrition talks for all of our mentoring clients to use. And, they've been so popular that we've decided we're going to release one every single month moving forward. So we were brainstorming ideas today, like what are the most common questions people are asking? That's a perfect nutrition talk, right? Like let's give people content that's relevant, that they care about. And some ideas that we came up with today, supplements is always a really hot topic. People are always asking about supplements. Another question and struggle people are having right now is alcohol intake. Like, what does that look like? How do you stay on track if you're drinking more? Or what should you be drinking so that you don't have 1,000,000 grams of sugar every day? And then boredom and like mindless eating, right? Like stress eating, mindless eating, like those are 3 topics that you could easily make seminars for. If you're a mentoring client, those are going to be coming your way over the next few months. We give you the presentation, the speaking notes in a recording. So literally you can just watch the recording and do the presentation, add your logo, add your contact in there. But that's a really great way to get awareness in the community that you can provide nutrition help. So when people are ready to invest in their health with nutrition, they're coming to you because you've already been putting yourself out there, putting this free content out there that you've been helping them, right?
Totally true. Yep, it's a great, great way. And like you stated before, having them sign up via like a Google form, I think is a great way because it's important to capture their email, their name and phone number as well.
Absolutely. So we've got partnerships. Talk to me about, we've heard a lot of different stories about partnerships, but tell me, what's a gym that comes to mind that you're like, man, they're doing awesome with partnerships and this is kind of what they've done?
Jen Grinnell's gym, one of the HSN mentors, comes first to mind. I think she is just killing it with partnerships.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
She is one of the first ones that comes to my mind too. Absolutely. I think that she's figured out a way to work with every single business in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, right? Like you can be flexible with your approach as long as you're going in with a help first mentality. How can I help your clients, your client base? And how can you help me build, my exposure to my brand? And providing free content is a really, really great strategy. So you giving nutrition talks or doing like a blog post, right? Like putting out free content so that you can be seen as the expert and build authority in relation to nutrition, then, people will come to you. People need to hear things like 7 to 10 times before they take action. And if they're hearing things from other people that they trust, it is so much more valuable than a paid advertisement, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Another great things are ebooks. People love ebooks. I personally love ebooks myself too. So that's another great way to give free content out there. And it could be a thing, where you've got a free ebook out there and you push that out there. And then in a couple of weeks, sign up for my free nutrition talk with my partner so-and-so, right? So the ebook could be an introduction. The free talk could be the next date, right? And then the relationship moves on from there.
Absolutely. I love it. As people are thinking like, I want to get started with partnerships. Hopefully you've done these 3 steps first, figured out your offerings, identified your seed clients, start talking to those people. You're going for the long game here. You're not going to be able to talk to someone on day 1 and be able to get your logo on their menu. It's just not going to happen. Like understand that you have to build that relationship and prove like, hey, I'm going to help you and I'm a trusted, valuable connection and I want to help your clients. So go in with that mentality. Don't think that you're going to get this amazing deal. And if you do, that's great, but set your expectations a little low when you're going for partnerships for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it takes a couple times to establish that.
And once you have a couple, then you could say, I've, helped X, Y, and Z company get healthy options on their menu and I want to help you too, right? You just need a couple under your belt so you get a little bit more confidence. Any other helpful tips with setting up partnerships for our listeners today?
I just think, be positive and be confident. You're going to be providing something that can help somebody. And yeah, it's going to help you too, but it's going to help both of you. And I think that's the biggest hurdle that people have, just making that first contact. Just make your list, talk to your seed clients, and don't be scared. Contact that first person, right? And even if you get rejected, at least you know how that feels and you can move on and be positive about your next contact. I think just taking action is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Like stay consistent, set a schedule for yourself. I love that. One of the really cool things that we're doing July 10th is a nutrition coaching virtual workshop. And one of the presentations we're talking about is scaling up your business. And if you're looking to build a nutrition program, when I look at the gyms who are bringing in revenue of nutrition programs, only over $100,000 a year, they all have set up partnerships. They have corporate, nutrition programs that they've set up, and we've helped them do that through this strategy, right? Like figure out your offerings, identify your seed clients, and start talking to them and talk about how you can help either their employees or their following, their business to be seen as the experts in their field. So I think this is a really cool opportunity. If you're looking for more help, definitely check out the workbook. That's a really great place to start. But we have this nutrition coaching virtual workshop. HSN Mentoring clients are getting one ticket as a member benefit, right? We want to say thank you for trusting us to help you during this absolute crazy time. And we're just so excited. Heather, we did the virtual in-person, or not virtual, it was an in-person workshop about a year ago now.
Yeah.
Gosh, the feedback was amazing. Everyone loved all the content, and the group discussions, group mentoring that you guys gave throughout the day was invaluable.
It was amazing. It was really fun. Really fun.
I just cannot wait for this year's event. It's going to be amazing. The virtual nutrition coaching workshop. And again, it is July 10th. All mentoring clients are going to get one ticket, and it will be available to the public starting on June 1st to purchase a ticket for that event. So if you're looking for more help with scaling your business, and specifically this partnership, this is going to be one of the topics that we cover on that live workshop. Heather, any other thoughts, suggestions here before we wrap up? This was super helpful. I know, guys, role play. If you haven't done this before, role play with a coach or someone else, a friend, so that you just get comfortable with the conversation and go in there with confidence. You can help people and help other businesses, and you guys are stronger together.
That's totally true. And if you're scoping out a place and you're just a little bit uncomfortable, go there for lunch, go there for dinner, go there for coffee a few times before you ask for the owner, right? It's going to allow you to gain some confidence with just being there. So that's what I would suggest too.
Absolutely. And start off with businesses you own, or that you are friends with, that you know the owners. One of our favorite restaurants, we have our logo on their menu, and it's on their ceiling too. We loved the restaurants. I had never met the owners, but we became friends with the bartender. And I asked him one day, like, you guys have some healthy stuff. Like, we want to highlight you. I'm a dietitian and we own a CrossFit gym. And he's like, our owners love local businesses. Just call them. So sure enough, I called him, and we started a relationship that we've had for years now. So don't be scared to ask. And you being a patron of a restaurant is a great place to start too.
It's true. Yep, for sure.
Awesome. Heather, you're such a joy to be around, and you help so many gym owners just dial in their systems. Thank you for all that you do with HSN Mentoring. I know you provide so much valuable information for our nutrition clients. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love it. I love to help people. It's great.
Awesome. Well, last plug for our nutrition coaching virtual workshop. Definitely check that out. If you go to growyournutritionbusiness.com, you can check out the virtual nutrition coaching workshop. Heather will be there helping with scaling your business and partnerships. So you don't want to miss it.
Yep, I'm excited.
Yeah, everyone's excited. Everyone is so pumped about this epic event. Heather, thank you for coming on today, and we'll be pushing out more partnership content in the future.
Thank you, Nicole. Have a great day.
I am a huge fan of partnerships. That is actually how we grew the mentoring program without spending $1 on ads for the first 5 years, and how we grew Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ. I can tell you from personal experience, it works. Monthly nutrition talks sponsored by a company are a great way to start partnerships and test the waters. As a part of the mentoring program, HSN Mentoring clients received 7 different nutrition talks in May to use with presentation slides that could be branded as their own, and speaking notes, and an editable, printable that they could give their clients, as well as a recording from one of the experts so that you could hear how the presentation should go. This is one of the many perks of HSN Mentoring. But another really awesome perk is that all HSN active clients on June 15th are going to receive 1 free ticket to the Nutrition Coaching Virtual Workshop on July 10th. This one-day live event will consist of presentations, application, and breakout groups led by the experts. It is going to be incredible, and we are so excited about it. Workshop tickets went live today to anyone on the wait list. And if we have any tickets available, the rest will go live to the public on June 15th. You don't want to miss this event. Head over to growyournutritionbusiness.com and join the waitlist today.